What if the most painful moment in your life could be faced with a different perspective? Each of us, at some point, has to face the heart-wrenching pain of losing a loved one. It's a universal experience, yet it's deeply personal. The grief can be overwhelming, like a tidal wave that knocks you off your feet, leaving you gasping for air. The world, once vibrant and full of life, suddenly seems dim and cold. In the thick of it, we find ourselves grappling with a range of emotions: shock, disbelief, anger, and profound sadness. We mourn the loss, the absence that feels like a gaping hole in our hearts. We yearn for what once was, for the moments that can no longer be relived. It's a natural process, a human response to loss. Everyone reacts differently to loss, but there's one philosophy that might offer a different perspective. Have you ever considered Stoicism as a guide through the journey of grief? You might wonder, what exactly is Stoicism? Well, it's a philosophy of life. It was born in ancient Greece and later thrived in Rome. Its teachings have endured for over 2,000 years, offering wisdom and guidance through life's most challenging moments. At its core, Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. It advocates for inner peace, achieved by separating our reactions from our external circumstances. It encourages understanding that the world is unpredictable and that we must accept whatever comes our way. But how can this philosophy help us navigate through the loss of a loved one? Well, the Stoics believed in the natural cycle of life and death. They saw death not as an end, but as a return to the universe. They taught that mourning is natural, but that we should not let it consume us. Instead, we should strive to remember our loved ones for who they were and the moments we shared with them. Stoicism also reminds us of the impermanence of everything, including our own lives. This may sound bleak, but it's actually a call to appreciate the present moment, to cherish our relationships while we can. It's a reminder to not take life for granted because everything is temporary. Stoicism doesn't promise to take away the pain of loss. It doesn't offer a magic solution to grief. What it does offer is a perspective, a way to approach the pain and navigate through it. It teaches us to accept our emotions, to let ourselves feel the sorrow, but not to let it control us. By understanding and practicing Stoic principles, we can find strength in adversity. We can learn to see the loss of a loved one not just as a source of pain, but also as a reminder of the preciousness of life. Stoicism might not erase the pain, but it could help you navigate through it. As we continue our exploration of Stoicism and grief, let's remember that every journey is unique. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, but there are ways to find comfort and resilience in the midst of sorrow. The decision to embrace Stoicism as a coping mechanism is not an easy one. Stoicism, as a philosophy, requires a shift in perspective, a change in how we perceive and react to the world around us. It asks us to let go of our instinctive reactions and instead respond with reason and understanding. To begin aligning with Stoic principles, we must first acknowledge the reality of our situation. This means accepting the loss of our loved one, not as a tragedy, but as a part of life's natural course. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's also a vital step towards finding peace. Next, we must learn to embrace the present, for Stoicism teaches us that the present moment is all we truly have. This doesn't mean we forget our loved ones, but rather we cherish their memory in the here and now, without yearning for a past that cannot be changed or a future that cannot be predicted. The trials of adopting Stoicism during the grieving process are manifold. It's challenging to shift our mindset, to let go of our habitual responses to grief. We might face resistance, both from within ourselves and from those around us who may not understand our new approach. Yet, it's in these challenges that we find growth. As we navigate these trials, we begin to build resilience, strength, and a deeper understanding of life's impermanence. The path to Stoicism isn't easy, but the rewards can be transformative. Stoicism offers a wealth of teachings that can be applied to the grieving process. It's a philosophy rich with wisdom, providing a different perspective on the challenges we face, especially when dealing with loss. One of the foundational principles of Stoicism is the understanding that we cannot control everything around us. That includes the inevitability of death. What we can control, however, are our thoughts and reactions to these events. This is not about suppressing emotions, but rather acknowledging them and choosing how to respond. In the face of grief, it's natural to feel an array of intense emotions. Stoicism encourages us to observe these emotions without judgment, to let them exist without letting them overwhelm us. It's okay to feel sadness. It's okay to feel pain. These feelings are part of being human, and acknowledging them is the first step towards healing. Another significant teaching from Stoicism is the practice of negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive at first, but it's about preparing ourselves for the realities of life, including loss. By contemplating the impermanence of life, we not only appreciate our loved ones more, but we also prepare ourselves for the inevitable. This doesn't make the pain of loss disappear, but it can make it more bearable. Stoicism also teaches us to find comfort in the natural order of things. The Stoics believed that everything in life, including death, happens according to nature's plan. Accepting this can bring a sense of peace during challenging times. Finally, the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, is a powerful Stoic teaching. It encourages us to embrace whatever life brings our way, including grief. This doesn't mean we should be happy about loss, but rather, we should accept it as part of our life's journey. These teachings are not quick fixes, but they provide a different way to approach the emotions that come with grief. They remind us that we have the inner strength to navigate through life's most challenging moments, and that it's okay to grieve, to feel, and to heal. The journey through grief is a challenging one, but Stoicism can offer a new perspective. Embarking on this journey, one might encounter moments of intense emotional struggle. Moments that feel like towering waves threatening to pull you under. Yet, within the teachings of Stoicism, we find a beacon of hope. Stoicism encourages us to perceive these moments not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Consider the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, who once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." In the heart of our pain, we can discover an inner resilience, a strength we may not have known we possessed. It's not about denying our emotions, but rather learning to navigate through them. Stoicism teaches us to accept our feelings, understand them, but not let them control our lives. This philosophy encourages us to see our grief not as a permanent state, but as a natural process of healing. As we integrate Stoicism into our grieving journey, we might find ourselves growing in ways we never anticipated. Perhaps we develop a deeper sense of empathy, or we learn to appreciate the fleeting beauty of life. We might discover a newfound resilience, or uncover a sense of peace we didn't think was possible. There are countless stories of individuals who, in their darkest hours, found solace in the teachings of Stoicism. They found strength in the idea that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And in doing so, they transformed their grief into a catalyst for personal growth. The path of grief is not a straight line, nor is it the same for everyone. But through the Stoic lens, we can see our journey as not just about moving on from a loss, but growing through it. It's about finding that within us which remains unbroken, even in the face of profound sorrow. Through Stoicism, you may discover a new sense of strength and resilience. This journey is not an easy one, but remember, like the mighty oak tree, we often grow stronger in the places where we've been broken. Stoicism can offer a fresh perspective on life after the loss of a loved one. This ancient philosophy, grounded in pragmatism and wisdom, can guide us towards a renewed understanding of life and our place within it. When we lose someone dear to us, the world can seem bleak and devoid of meaning, but the Stoic perspective encourages us to view this loss not as an end, but as a part of the natural cycle of life. Stoicism teaches us to find strength in adversity, to accept what we cannot change, and to focus on what is within our control. This empowering philosophy can guide us towards personal growth, even in the face of profound sadness. It's about finding the courage to continue, to forge a new path, enriched by the love and memories of those we've lost. This isn't about forgetting or diminishing our loss, but rather about integrating it into our life story, allowing it to shape us, to remind us of the preciousness of life and the importance of living it fully. It's about acknowledging our pain, but not being consumed by it. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Let us then, guided by Stoicism, transform our suffering into resilience, our loss into wisdom. With Stoicism, the pain of loss can give way to a renewed sense of purpose and meaning.